I'm going to show you how to fix a network cable. All right, there's different kinds. The things you're going to need is a set of crimpers. This is good for a phone cable and a network cable. All right, so what usually happens in my many years of being a computer guy, 30 plus years, and a network guy, what happens is this gets caught up in cables. Let's say you're pulling it through, and this little thing right here gets caught and gets pulled back. Of course, this guy is held back by something, and now it's coming out, and it's coming out, and now it's all the way up. And after a while, okay, that'll still click in, but after a while it moves back. That's 2, that's 3, and that's it. It's off. It's no longer going to stay in. It's just going to sit back at the computer and eventually back off, and you got to keep pushing it back in. So I'm going to show you how to replace this. Now there is a certain color code that goes by, and I'm going to point it out right here. All right, and the thing is, I don't normally go by that because so many people make their own that I just go by what is actually on the plug. If you do what's on the plug, the other end of the plug is going to be in agreement. If you decide to go by the color code that's defaulted and the other side is not, you know, somebody homemade it and just put the colors wherever they wanted to, all right, that's going to be an issue. So the first thing you do here is go ahead and cut the piece off. You're going to need a set of dikes for this, and you put it right up against, because if you have a short cable, you can't add more cable unless you replace the cable itself. The number one thing though, before you do this, is make sure the other end is disconnected from the router switch, or turn off the switch router. I prefer just disconnecting it. All right, clip it off. All right, so now what you're going to have here is the length. You need the length to be all the way to the end. All right, so our insulation is right at the first line. So what we need to do is strip back about to right there. All right, we're not going to strip the wires off that insulation. We're just taking this outer shield off. So use a razor blade, a knife. If you have wire cutters are too big, you'd be very careful not to score the insulation on the individual wires. So this is a good old-fashioned buck knife. All right, so you just want to take it all the way around. Be careful you don't cut yourself, and that you're on a straight line going around, and that you connect the two lines. All right, give it a bend. See if we can get a break in there in the insulation. Okay, and work your way through it. And you see how there's a dip right there. So we're going to the upper part's going to come in first, but it'll rip right off eventually. So just be patient with it. If you have a short line like right there, and we did not score the other one, so just take this and rip it around. All right, and if you need to score it some more, but see it's ripping, just like you do a plastic bag, it's rubber. All right, if we need to take it just a little bit more there and rip it over, take it from the other side, rip it out. Okay, and give a good pull, and there you go. We have wires in here that are brown on white. We have brown, we have blue. We have blue in here, and there's some twisted too, like orange and stripe orange are twisted. All right, you need to straighten all these out. All the little straight, angles in here, you have to try and straighten it out. All right, a network guy does this really quick. A lot of times you can't even see it because he goes so fast. And now, if these guys, like for example, this guy right in the middle, I don't even know if that's going to be long enough. Take this and take a look. It should reach to the end. But all these, see how some of them are longer? We need to trim that end. When we get all these lined up as to the color that's on the back of this. Now remember, on our old one, we're on the bottom. This is where the clip broke off, so we need to turn this over. So we're going to work on the bottom where the pins are. And we're going to work with the colors going across and make both of these look the same. Also take it, looks like brown and then stripe brown. You can turn it over, take a look where the stripe is. Alright, so stripe and brown stripe. So that's going to be on our outermost right. And then the next one over is the stripe. Alright, we can have these spread out. We're just making a big fan here. Alright, the next one is green, and let's see what that looks weird. That looks like a striped blue. Okay, a green. I need to work this over. And a striped blue. Striped blue goes there. Okay, then we have, let's go green, striped blue, and if we take blue and then a striped green. So blue and striped green. Okay, then orange and stripe orange. So orange and stripe orange, we need to work this guy out. Green and striped blue. See, these guys are inside the tube here. They're all tangled up, so we have to straighten these guys out. So this is, we're going to verify it. We're going to go through it one more time on top. Okay, these are the pins. This is what we're looking at. So we have brown, striped brown, green. That's the striped blue. We have to look underneath, see what's next to green. And that is indeed a striped blue. So striped blue there, blue, striped green, striped blue, blue, striped green, solid orange, and striped orange. So that's going to be our lineup. So we need to get these all sitting next to each other and brought in. Okay, so you see how they're, some of them are too long. We need to crimp those down. Now when you crimp these, all right, you need to make sure the pieces don't go flying all over the place. All right, let's see how I have the direction might, like on that striped green, it's angling to the left. I need to straighten that wire out. Otherwise, when it goes into the channel, it's not going to work out right. So now we're going to take our dikes and trim this. I want to face this down so when it pops off, it goes onto the table. You want to make them as even as possible. Okay, we're going to take the new one. Remember, it's the pins up. So we need to put these pins, there's a track in there when they go in. Make them flat, push them in, and hopefully nothing moves. And something did. The blue started moving over. So really have to manipulate these to go in. And you can see it's really a tough one to get through. We need to line them up and push them in. Okay, so our insulation is underneath where the crimp's going to be. Okay, we're going to do one final check here before we crimp. Okay, remember the metal contacts up, and we look at both of them. All right, and what it looks like the color codes, or the colors match, and that's the key thing. Okay, so if you can't see the red stripe, I'm sorry, the green stripe, blue stripe, turn it over, but don't lift the tab. All right, you need to make sure that the wires are all the way at the front of the contacts on both sides. The rubber is underneath where it's going to be meshed. You're going to push this in and make sure it's seated. Okay, now what we have here is on our crimpers, we have little ribs right here. Let's see if I can get that in there. There you go. That's the phone line and that's the network line. All right, so push this all the way to open. So that's the side that's going to push down in the metal contacts. All right, so you're going to pop in on this side. All right, and you're going to hear a click. If I can line it up. Well, there was no click, but it was in there. All right, it's on that side. You see where the metal contacts are going to go up. All right, I'm going to push some muscle on this. I'm going to push this in because I want those contacts to be at the very end when this crimps, and I'm going to crimp it down. All right, release, it opens up. Hit the tab to pull it out. Give a good tug. It's not going to come off. We have a tab there that's going to lock it in place on the new one, and line it up one more time, and there we go. It looks good. Okay, so the key thing is you want to make sure, no matter how the color sequence is. Now there is a universal code, and I already showed you that. But the no matter how it is, you want to make sure that your old and new match. All right, because if you get a wire backwards, your network's not gonna do good. Now there is a tester. I have one, but I don't have batteries in it. And you could test, take both sides of this single cable and put them together, and you can test each wire going through the loop. Okay, so hopefully you find this useful. Most homeowners don't have that tester. All right, so just hook it up, and if your network works, you know you did good. All right, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Bye.